You're ambitious. You have big dreams, and you want to achieve success, ultimately living the life you've always envisioned. But here's the problem. You're stuck in laziness. You know exactly what you should be doing, but you don't take action. This creates a cycle of guilt because, deep down, you know you're capable of much more. Over time, that guilt builds, days turn into weeks, weeks into months, until you eventually settle into acceptance. Then, the new year rolls around, and with it, the same goals as the year before. You start off strong, riding a wave of motivation and perhaps a bit of overconfidence. But soon enough, procrastination sneaks in, like an unwelcome guest who refuses to leave. This procrastination grows into a daily habit, locking you in a loop of inactivity, and before you realize it, you branded yourself as lazy. So how can you escape this cycle and break free from procrastination? While countless videos on the internet promise solutions, most only address surface-level symptoms. They suggest strategies like uninstalling social media apps or eliminating distractions, which might help temporarily, but fail to tackle the deeper issue, the root cause of procrastination. And that root cause can be summed up in one word: inertia. Inertia, a concept from physics, refers to the tendency of objects to remain at rest or continue in motion unless acted upon by an external force. Newton's first law of motion doesn't just apply to objects, it applies to tasks too. Starting any task requires an initial push, a certain amount of energy to overcome the inertia of being at rest. And here's the core of the problem. We often make this initial push seem overwhelming in our minds. As a result, we avoid the task altogether, turning instead to easy distractions that provide instant gratification. To defeat procrastination, we need to overcome inertia, and there are two powerful ways to do that. 1. Lower the bar to get started. The hardest part of any task is taking the first step, so make it as simple as possible. Shrink the stakes by focusing on just one small action. For instance, instead of thinking, "I need to write a 5,000-word essay," which feels daunting, tell yourself, "I'll write just 50 words." By lowering the effort required, the inertia becomes much easier to overcome, and you won't have to rely on willpower or discipline to start. 2. Try the 2-minute rule. If you don't feel like working, commit to doing it for just 2 minutes, then stop if you want to. For example, if your room is messy, put on a song, tidy up while the music plays, and stop when it ends. More often than not, you'll find yourself continuing beyond 2 minutes, gaining momentum, and surprising yourself with how much you get done. This happens because of another principle of inertia. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Once you begin, momentum carries you forward, making it easier to keep going. At first, starting may feel like pushing a heavy ball uphill, but once you break through the initial inertia, it's all downhill from there. The key is to make that first push small and manageable. Reduce the stakes, start with 2 minutes, and let momentum do the rest. These strategies can be applied to any area of life: exercising, pursuing a side hustle, nurturing relationships, or tackling anything else on your to-do list. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step."